What is up, my tankers? Bang here, bringing you another viewer-submitted replay, kind of. Hold on, just 1 second. Okay, there we go. Again, my frame rate dropped to 15 FPS for some unknown reason. That's just a weird glitch in Fraps, but getting back to what I was saying. It's kind of a viewer-submitted replay. This is a game sent in to me by my good friend Tank677 and his Object 268. A force to be feared, certainly. If you see him in a match, you should probably expect to die, or at least be very cautious when going up against him. The enemy team saying GG, we win. Yeah, I'm going to contend against that. Now, normally I don't know what happens in his games, but unfortunately, I had to pre-screen this one due to the fact that he wasn't sure if he sent me the right replay file. And if you're wondering where he is, he's updated to version 8.3 and he can't find an 8.2 client anywhere. And so we can't do our co-op commentary thing. So he is not here. This is going to be just me talking about this game, which unfortunately I know it happens, which is a shame because you won't get to see my absolute reaction to the incredibleness of his gameplay. If you could have seen, or rather heard, you don't see me at all. Hi, I'm waving at you and you can't tell. If you would have heard my reaction, it would have been very entertaining. But we will certainly keep things interesting as possible. Now, he is very much a committed tank destroyer player. He plays tank destroyers so much. Between his Object 704 and his Object 268, he has more games played in those tanks combined than probably my top 5, top 6, maybe even top 10 tanks. So, I mean, I barely have over 500 matches in my top tank, whereas he has thousands of matches in between those two vehicles. So, he knows what he's doing. And he is also a very patient man. If you haven't noticed, he's just sitting right here in these bushes. He plays the tank destroyer role very well. If I play a tank destroyer, I play it a bit more like a heavy tank. I play a bit more like a normal tank, which oftentimes ends up getting me killed. So he is committed to the tank destroyer role. Me, I don't do such a great job at it because I'm not too patient, actually. And yeah, a lot of people would say, well, he's just a camper. No, he's doing the role a tank destroyer is supposed to be doing, which is supportive. He's going to take a shot right here, trying to get it, but he fires a bit too late, wasting a very expensive shell. Getting himself spotted, but not taking any sort of damage. And right here, I have to say, shame on you, enemy team. Whoever just hit him is using high explosive rounds in a tier 10 match. Unless you're a high caliber tank destroyer like Tank here, whose HE does how much damage? Yeah, 1100. You shouldn't be using high explosive rounds. You really should not. They did just a little more than 50 hit points of damage. Oh my gosh, that's so gonna kill him. Not really. That's me being sarcastic. But, like I was saying, you might say he's a camper, but he's playing the tank destroyer as it's intended to be played. Hidden behind your team's front lines in a supportive role to dish out those very strong first hits that the enemy team doesn't see coming. Not only that, tank destroyers are really meant to also be played in a kind of base defense capacity. And that guarding artillery, keeping the enemy from breaking through your lines at critical points, and really serving as an overwatch, just as Tank 677 is doing here. Now, you might disagree with me, but that is how I have always seen tank destroyers supposed to be played as. Some of them are a bit more flexible and can be played a bit differently, such as the T110E4 definitely can be played more as a tank, same with the T30. But tank destroyers like the Object 268, which are a bit lighter on the armor, there we go, a good solid hit on that IS-7. So much of his health just disappearing and melting away. But like I was saying, an Object 268, not that great of armor. It's one of the softer tier 10 tank destroyers, and it's really not meant to be a frontline brawler. It truly isn't. T92 eliminating a Type E. Tank's team really not doing too hot for themselves right now. Tank has yet to get any sort of kills, only getting one solid hit so far, if I'm not mistaken. And his team down by 3 vehicles. It's not looking good for them. They are dwindling on artillery. And Tank is going to go right and engage this IS-7. So just proving the fact that he can get a bit aggressive and basically take it to the enemy when he needs to. Now, if you're wondering what just happened right there, that IS-7 shot right under his tank. That shell went missed his lower plate and went right under him. And there we go, the IS-7 managing to hit him for a bit of damage. That other explosion was an artillery round, and Tank will shoot the gun, breaking the gun on the IS-7, kind of delaying the inevitable here. But an IS-7 is not something he wants to be fighting head on. He's going to try and absorb his shell into his gun mantle, but just failing to do that whatsoever. Tank fully aware of this little damage port for the IS-7. There we go. It looks like as if the IS-7 will die to the E5, hopefully before, nope, he will take another hit. I couldn't remember if he did or didn't, but the IS-7 getting eliminated. Tank very low on health at this point and very much at the mercy of artillery. He's trying his best to not get shot by RD. That is why he drove up against that hill there, hugging the wall as best he can to not get RD to death. Very much a bad situation for his team at this point. Now he's going to do a bit of complaining in the chat saying, I hate the IS-7. Its armor is such BS, rah, rah. He didn't realize at the time he was shooting it in its gun and breaking its gun. So he thought he was actually shooting it in its armor when he was firing at it in the third person mode. And he's like, I got 2 pens for absolutely no damage. And he even told me post game, he's like, yeah, I was an idiot. I was complaining about things I shouldn't have been complaining about. But, hey, at least he owned up to it. So, he's going right back to his Overwatch position. His team is in really no position to be pushing at all. And that tank right there, if you look in the Foxtrot 7 block, yeah, he just died. Pushed way too far up. It is up to him and the remaining forces on his team to win this match. The enemy really not doing as well as I would expect for themselves at this point. Tank's team still in a position to win this. Even though they are down by 2 tanks, they have an even number of tanks, just 2 less artillery. So as long as his team is smart about it and gets in an artillery safe positions, essentially, they are more than capable of making a comeback, but it's certainly going to be difficult. Now, the GW Type E saying something went short. If I recall correctly, he's calling out the GW Tiger on his team, on Tank's team, saying he's useless, and this is exactly what he needed. That IS-8 goes from full health, 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 points of damage. All the points of damage. He is. Now that IS-8 is very much near death. This T-34 seeing an opportunity to move in for the kill. And Tank 677 reloaded here, possibly going to get the final shot on this IS-8. But at the same time, being careful not to get hit by artillery. He was not spotted initially, and that means artillery wasn't aimed there, but now artillery is full ready to take him out. That T-54 possibly going to take out this IS-8. He has the capacity to survive one shot, and we will see if he does. There we go, T-54 fully eliminating that IS-8, evening the playing field a bit more. The T-95, a very big and worrisome threat, crossing through the 0 line to right in front of Tank, and he's going to do his best to shoot it, soften it up, and they did lose the Jagdpanzer E-100. Artillery softening him up, and Tank taking the final blow. Now that was complete overkill. Tank's average damage is 850 points per round, so a little overkill, but there is no such thing as unnecessary shots when you're losing. If you're the only one who can shoot him, you've got to take the shot. It doesn't matter if you have a high caliber gun that will totally be more than enough to kill him. Hey, at least you know he's gonna die. That's all I have to really say on that subject, due to the fact that, I mean, yes, if you have a high damage gun and there's multiple targets and your teammates can kill the lower health guy, you should let them. But in situations like this, Tank doesn't have an option. There was no one else that was going to kill him. His team managing to close the gap 10-11. It is a very, very, very close match at this point. And it's going to really come down to how well the remaining players do. Artillery spotted for the enemy team, and the enemy falling back to defensive positions. All 3 artillery spotted and managing to eliminate that T-110E5. If you recall, he had already been hit by artillery. T-54 eliminating one of the T-92s. There is still another one on the field. Enemy artillery is proving to be the backbone of their team. If you look, enemy artillery has 7 kills between the 3 of them. Just really showing who was ruining Tank's day. Well, at least his team's day. Tank has yet to be hit by a single artillery round, if I'm not mistaken. And he is assuming a more a front line position, but still defensive, as well it should be. And son of who is the GW Tiger cursing that he hit a rock instead of hitting an artillery piece. Unfortunate. And it is down to Tank, who only has 1 kill left, and that GW Tiger, who has 2 kills. And Tank is in no position to be winning this for his team. He is one shot no matter who hits him. If he gets pegged, he is done. And someone cursing the random number generator, saying that it hates them, and the French tank still has 56 HP left. And they're debating the finer points. It doesn't matter. That French tank is a one-shot. It doesn't matter if he has 56 hit points or 21 hit points. He's going to die in 1 hit. It really is just irrelevant at this point. But the E75, they will say, his teammates will tell him that the E75 is AFK. I'm not entirely sure if that's true because we couldn't really tell based on the map. But given the fact that the E75... I got a bit nerfed up there, and is not yet spotted, he is kind of inclined to believe that. Tank full and well believes that E75 is AFK, even though he has no true way of verifying it. Now, he was wondering exactly how the enemy got behind him here. He thought he would have seen the enemy running for that capture point before the fact. And so this kind of took him by surprise. He's like, well, I'm not entirely sure how this happened, but hey, look, free kill. And there we go. That high damage gun proving to be very, very much effective against that bat chat. That I was going to say little Artie, but it's not quite so little. Now, for those of you who have been playing 8.3, you've probably noticed Artie has gotten a bit of a nerf. Not in the way that you would hope. Their guns still hurt a lot. They still hurt the same when they hit you. Splash has been reduced for high tier artillery, but that's not too much of a factor. And the other thing is high tier artillery, and this is priceless right here. Tank is trying to get over there, but he doesn't have the horsepower. How unfortunate. But as I was saying, high tier artillery, most artillery got a health nerf, so they are easier to kill. They got a mobility nerf, so they don't move quite as easily, which honestly, how often does artillery move? With the exception of low-tier artillery, how often do you see a GW Type E relocating on the map? How often do you see an S51 significantly changing their positions on the map? You don't. For the most part, artillery finds a spot and stays there. So reducing mobility, not that big of a deal. Reducing their health, also not that big of a deal because they're more or less easy enough to kill as is. And honestly, a lot of times, if you're getting shot at by artillery, your team has failed you, you're going to lose anyway. It's not really that big of a deal. So the nerf, not really what we were hoping for, I suppose. Honestly, the T-54 is saying going to risk a draw. Tank 677 says, well, I don't know if he says it in the match. The T-57 saying the object is our hero. Very much true. But Tank, believing he cannot win this, he thinks he has 0 chance of winning this, and he says draw is the best I can do. And absolutely, draw, oh, this is priceless. The 50B, absolutely clueless that the object 268 there. Now Tank quickly backing up in an attempt to not get shelled and eliminated by Artie. But absolutely, a draw is better than a loss. And when you are on the losing team, you want to draw out if you think it's better than going out there and just dying in a blaze of final defiance. It's better to run and hide and defend your base to the best of your ability. And Tank is doing just that. That 50B having absolutely no idea. He just got completely derped. And yes, the Object 268, I wouldn't be in the wrong in classifying its gun as a derp gun. But really, any top tier tank destroyer, it more or less has a derp gun. There are some exceptions, such as the Object 263. And, well, I think that's really it. To be honest, I don't think any other, yeah, the Object 263 is the lowest damage tier 10 tank destroyer. The Object 268 tank here saying won't be able to load fast enough to kill the E75 due to the fact, now you cannot see the game timer, but he's in the last minute of the match right now. Again, weird glitch in this replay. The T92 quickly making himself seen on the map, and Tank saying, oh, your gun's pointing at me, I'm gonna shoot you right now. He's not gonna even let that T92 take a random shot. He didn't want to risk anything right there. The T-54 saying, go, 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 you can make it. And Tank saying, no, he can't. 40 seconds. There we go. The E75 believing he's not in the base, but Tank quickly learning that is not the case. He's just taking the shot he can. There we go. E75, the match winning. Tank giving that bug-eyed face, and the enemy team like saying, no! although the E5 saying, GG, bro. Very well played. That match should have been a loss. Tank getting 5 kills, managing to bring his team back from the brink of losing it. It was most likely going to be a draw, but those last few seconds, that last minute of the match, getting very intense and very interesting. So, well played, Mr. Tank 677. Good game, bro, as the other guy said so aptly. And too bad he could not join us this time, but hopefully once I get 8.3 installed, he'll get some good games that he can send me. Tank and I, we kind of have high standards when it comes to doing our own games. Something really, really astounding has to happen for him to send me a game, such as this. I mean, look at that. That was amazing. So just, it doesn't happen that often, but maybe I'll be doing co-op commentaries with other people besides him in the future. We will see. I have reached out to a few other people, so that might be something to look forward to. But anyway, if you liked this video, click that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. And if you got a replay, check the link in the description, watch the submit video tutorial, and then send it to spanglereplays@gmail.com. Email is in the description. And this has been Spang. I am signing off.